Well, hi. Hi, everyone from Italy who's joining us this evening. I'm so looking forward to tonight. I've been wanting to do my Christmas live. I'll be away for Christmas, but I'll try and do a Sunday live. But tonight is really special. I've been preparing the house because it's the 8th of December. I'm in Italy, and in Italy, we put up decorations on the 8th of December. If you put up decorations before that, generally people look at you askance. Anyway, I'm super excited to have you all join us. I hope lots of you are going to join us. Don't forget to put your name down in the chat box and your city so that I can welcome you. I hope you can see sometimes this light kind of blinds everybody a bit because it's quite bright, but if I don't have it, then you can't really see me. But I hope you can see the candles and some of my Christmas behind, and this lantern, the most wonderful time of the year. Let's see if we can bring it slightly closer so that you get a view of the most wonderful time of the year. Maybe we can just turn off this big light for a minute so that you can see the most wonderful time of the year. Can you see that? There it is. So, anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about having Christmas in Italy, of course, and I think we probably do need a light. But tell me if it's too dark, if you think we do need a light. But I'm really looking forward to chatting to you. And there's a candle burning bright for all you guys who are joining. I know that some of you probably decorate your houses later than this, but here we are. It's Christmas time coming up. So, what am I going to talk about this evening? I'm going to talk about, as I have been doing on all the videos I've done recently, on living in Italy and my truth about the good things, the bad things, the in-between things about living in Italy. So I hope that this one is going to be interesting for you. If you've thought about just spending a Christmas in Italy or you've ever thought about living in Italy, this one's going to be great. So stick around. Right. First things first, as usual, when you come in, won't you do me a favor and like the video? That helps a lot. And also, if you don't mind, once you watch this back, if you don't join us live, would you be so kind as to leave a comment? Often people don't realize the importance of comments. It helps YouTube to know. Apparently I've got a rainbow on my light, so bear with me. I don't know, there seems to be a lot of different things going on here. Can you see this? It's kind of a rainbow effect. I don't know how that is for you. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it indifferent? Is that better? Yeah, I think you can see me better now. So anyway, yes, like the video. It helps a lot for YouTube to suggest this video to everybody else. And if you would like to do that, it helps me a lot. You can comment whenever you like. And if you're in the chat, like the video when you come in and put your name in the chat box and the city you're joining from. So, Christmas in Italy. So, Christmas in Italy is a rather religious idea. If you have ever been to Italy, you'll know this. Even if you haven't been to Italy, you'll know this, that Italy is 99% Catholic. So it's a very Catholic country. It permeates every part of life. And unlike France and some other European countries, There is no separation between state and church. They are one in Italy. And I know that the Constitution of Italy states that the church, it's not, you're not obliged to be a Christian. But if you're not, I can't imagine. But anyway, I'm not Italian. I've been living here for 20 years and I'm not Catholic. And I was thinking about this today as an Church of England, Anglican, Protestant person, whichever label you want to put on me. I love to go to Christmas Mass at Christmas. I'm crazy about Christmas. If you don't know that, you should go watch some of my videos. I make wreaths for Christmas. I make decorations. I'm going to put the big light on because I'm going to show you some of the things I've been making. Bear with me 1 second as I put the big light on, because I think this is just a little too romantic and you won't be able to see. Yeah, that's better. I don't know why the big light went off. So you can see me. You can actually see me now. So great. So if you're joining us for the first time, my name's Amanda. I'm joining you from Italy. And tonight we're talking about having Christmas in Italy as a non-Catholic person, or having any event in Italy as a non-Catholic person. So, great. So I've been making baubles because I have been doing wreaths. You've seen, if you haven't seen my purse, so this one's rather sparkly. I've used a beautiful fabric from Florence, and it has these little sparkly crystal pearly things on. And these are also fabric, paisley fabric, and I've done little pearly hearts on these. So yes, I love making baubles, vintage baubles, and this year is no exception. I haven't put up a tree inside. I have a tree on the balcony, I always do, and I've decorated that with some vintage decorations because I'm going to be away from the 20th on. I'm going to Lyon in France, and then I'm going to be I'm meeting Janice in France, who lives near Paris in Fontainebleau. I'm going to join her in Paris, and then we're traveling together to Fontainebleau, where I will be there for Christmas, joining a whole bunch of other people, I think mostly singles, who be together. Now, for years, in every home I've ever had, all the orphans, as we call them, people who are going to be alone for Christmas, they were always invited. So I've always had a big Christmas table of about 20 or, I don't know, sometimes 10 or 12 people who join in because they're far from their family or whatever. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. Having Christmas in a country in which you might be a citizen, I'm a citizen here, might be living permanently, but where you weren't born and where you weren't raised. And so the culture is a little bit different. And Christmas is a time, as we know, where emotions run maybe a little bit hotter than other times. And it's been mentioned before, and I don't want to focus heavily on this in this video, but a lot of people have a difficult time at Christmas. And in particular Christmases, even more than normal, perhaps. People who have associated bad memories of Christmas, people who are recently divorced, people who have recently had a breakup, people who are estranged from their parents, or young people who are parents who are estranged from their children. All of these things provide a very difficult time over Christmas. People who really would love to be with their family and can't for whatever reason. They're working, they live across the world, whatever. In my situation, both of my children live in different countries. They don't live in Italy, and they haven't done. And we've always found a way that either they came to have Christmas here in my house in Italy, and I showed them all the traditions, and they've seen most of Italy, and even we've had Christmases in Switzerland, different cultures. I've always opened them up to different cultures because I've always been fascinated by different cultures. Or I went to where they were in South Africa and Canada to enjoy them there. But it does provide a difficult time because it's generally a time when you want to be with your family. And certainly, as soon as Thanksgiving happens, family conversations start to happen and people start to talk about that. I don't know what's being said here, but anyway, yeah, I'll look at the chat later. So if you just want to drop me a comment there, that's fine. So, yes. It's difficult. It's difficult if you're not with your family and you're not with your loved ones, and you're maybe dreaming of being with your loved ones, but you aren't. So that can be challenging. This year I decided I've done lots of different things over the years. I need to tell you, I've had big traditional Christmases in Italy, always have a tree, always go crazy on the decorations and the lights. I normally put it up end of November. I always have a big Christmas dinner. And even if I'm going away, we normally have a get together of my dear Italian friends at my house before I go away. I've been for quite a few years up to the wonderful snow in Alto Adige, which is up in the north of Italy near the Dolomites, because I love having snow over Christmas. And also having grown up in very hot countries, I rather like a cold, snowy Christmas. Isn't snow wonderful at Christmas? So romantic and cozy. And we always had the fire in my house, so the fire was decorated, the fireplace, always put up fir along all the pictures, fir and spruce and ivy and holly. And of course, I've always done this. And I will be doing that at the Christmas market next week, where my final Christmas market with all my wreaths and Christmas things that I will be selling. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say Christmas is great, and I've always been mad about Christmas. It kind of helps that my birthday is always upstaged by baby Jesus. Now, as far as being upstaged on your birthday by anybody, I think baby Jesus takes the cake. So on Christmas Eve, I love to go to Mass if I can. And if I'm visiting with friends or whatever, we've been to Italian Mass here a few times. But somehow I just never feel that I'm good enough to go to Catholic Mass. I don't know why, but I really enjoy the Christmas carols, English Christmas carols. And yeah, I grew up, singing those carols, and we associate those traditions with Christmas, and everybody has their own precious traditions, obviously. But somehow I've been to Christmas Mass in Italy a few times when I was married with my mother-in-law, never went. So I went in her place because she always said, oh no, it's too much hassle to go down there. And maybe you won't fit in the church. There's always a million reasons. But anyway, I have over the years gone to, or tried to go, let's put it that way, to midnight Mass in Italy. What usually happens is they bring it forward. So there's one in the afternoon, there's one at 6:00. So midnight Mass is something that I haven't done for a few years, but we used to do when I was younger, and certainly when I lived in South Africa and when I lived in England, that was a reality. Midnight Mass is always special and lovely. And I remember one particular occasion with a boyfriend. It was in the Church of England, and there was incense, and it just, this midnight mass went on and on and on. His father was a gynecologist, obstetrician, and during this mass that we sat at, it went on for ages with more and more incense being swung. And he said, I'm in a faint. I can't bear incense. And I have to say, I'm also a bit sensitive to incense in a church. And basically what happened was, To cut a long story short, 2 babies were born. His dad was called out twice during that service, which felt like it went on for 2 hours. And anyway, he resisted. He was on emergency call, but anyway, eventually the bleeper went and he went out, and then he came back because it was a false alarm. In the car park, they said, no, don't worry, you'll have to delay a bit. So he came back inside, and then when he went back, 2 babies that were awaiting birth, he got called on both of them in the hospital. So basically 2 babies were born on this Christmas Eve while I was there with my boyfriend and enjoying my birthday, of course. So my birthday's always been attached to Christmas, and I don't mind that. I think of all the people that I'd like to share my birthday with. I don't mind sharing it with the Lord Jesus. And one of the things I want to talk about tonight is being accepted in Italy, and having your traditions accepted. Now, Italians are quite fixed on the food. We know this. I mean, if you've ever been to Italy, they'll tell you, you don't dare order a cappuccino after 11 o'clock or 11:30. Don't dare put Parmesan cheese if you're having a fish dish. All of these rules, there's a million rules of food in Italy. You know them. You've probably heard them. I'm not going to cover them here because, my goodness, there's about 1 million videos on YouTube talking about this. But there are also rules about Christmas, what you can do, what you can't do. So I'm going to cover these now, and then maybe you'll have something to tell me. Janice, oh hi Janice, hi from France. You look beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's gorgeous. Thank you. So kind of you. Actually, talking about dress, this is a royal purple. I don't know. This light's probably causing all sorts of strange colors. It's a royal purple, very heavy velvet coat that I've had for many years. It's floor length, and the dress is from Stefanel in Italy. It's a lovely plaid kind of tartan. It's also sort of blue purple, and then it has burgundy plaid. I do love it. It's a winter dress. It has amazing sleeves. Shall I show you? Since we're doing a little fashion show. It has these amazing bell sleeves that I love, and I quite often wear this on Christmas Eve if we're going to church or whatever. So maybe this year I'll be in Paris. I just spoke about Janice, and then we're going on to Fontainebleau where she lives. And on my birthday, which is Christmas Eve, as I just said, we will be going to church. So Janice, you joined at the perfect time because we will be going to church on Christmas Eve. And I just mentioned going to church through the years on Christmas Eve and how much I love that, and how difficult it is as a non-Catholic sometimes in Italy to be accepted and have your traditions, I'm not a person who's inflexible in terms of religion. See if I can get this coat back on. Yeah, I'm not inflexible, but I would sometimes like my own traditions to perhaps, if not understood, maybe just accepted. But Italians are quite rigid about this. And so the title of tonight's little chat that we're having is, will I ever be accepted in Italy? And it's 22 years I'm a citizen. So yeah, I don't want to make this a sort of tearful episode, but I feel quite emotional at Christmas. As I mentioned, my children live far away. We've had many Christmases together. I know Janice in France, who's joining us, is very excited because her daughter's joining her from the States, and she's going to share her Christmas in France for the first time. These are such special moments. But as I mentioned, not everybody can be with their family during Christmas. It's a difficult time because, some people are separated by miles, or they might be estranged for some reason. Or, as I mentioned, some people might have broken up with a loved one or just gone through a divorce, or all of those things. So I'm very aware of that. I wanted to show you the most wonderful time of the year lantern, which I always have every year. You can't see it with this light, so I'm going to bring it closer. So I always have a candle inside that, the most wonderful time of the year, and it's always part of my Christmas situation here. So anyway, as I was saying, I love to go to Christmas Mass. I always have. And I'm thrilled that this year I'll be able to do it with Janice in Fontainebleau. Looking forward to that. And it's my tradition. I've always done it. But when I first became part of an Italian family, and when I actually started dating an Italian, who, by the way, doesn't care anything about the church really, but as I say, it's just part of the background of Italian life. We never went to Christmas Mass. Well, one, because he didn't really want to, and two, because when I tried to go with my mother-in-law, whatever, there was always a reason why they couldn't go, wouldn't go, whatever. But at the same time, they were very unaccepting. Is unaccepting even a word? Possibly. Non-accepting of my traditions, my Church of England, Anglican, whatever you want to call it, Protestant background. I kind of feel in Italy sometimes you're either Catholic or they consider you a Muslim. In other words, you can only be Christian. I'm a Christian. We have the same beliefs. I believe in Christ. I believe in the Holy Trinity. I believe in the Holy Ghost. I believe in all of that stuff that Catholics do. I'm just not a Catholic. So I sometimes feel like you're either Catholic or they think you're a heathen. And I guess I promised this year that I would tell the truth about my life in Italy, and this is one of the things I want to chat about tonight. And I know some other Italians who grew up Italian who are now living around the world. Sarah Bell, who lives in Australia, will have something to say about this, because it's kind of, you're Catholic or you're not. And if you're not Catholic, what are you? You must be Muslim. You must be a heathen. No. I am a Christian, and I can go to a Baptist church, or in fact any church, an interdenominational church. I've even been to Catholic churches, and I don't mind. For me, it's the thought that counts, and the fact that you there worshiping and praying or doing what you're doing on Christmas Eve, and it's okay. It's really okay. But in Italy, it seems that they just never know what to ask me. It's like, are you okay? So you're not Catholic? And no, I'm not Catholic, but I'm a Christian. And when you say I'm a Christian, they sort of look at you like you're not. You're not, because you're not Catholic. And I'd like to hear your viewpoints on this. If you're Italian, non-Italian, whatever, tell me your viewpoints. I really want to know. I don't know if Janice is still there. Anyway, I hope she is, because we're talking about important stuff about Christmas Eve church. Let me know, Janice, if you're still there. And yeah, I don't know. So will I ever get used to this? I don't know. I mean, look, I got used to eating panettone instead of eating Christmas cake, which is my tradition. I always make mince tarts at Christmas, mince pies. That's an English thing. We usually don't have a turkey, but some English families do. We would have a roast, and maybe a roast beef, a roast chicken, a roast lamb with lovely vegetables, whatever. We'd have a Christmas pudding. We'd have all of that. What's happening here? I'm here. Did you hear, Janice, did you hear the story about Christmas Eve and worshipping as a non-Catholic? Because I'm a Christian, and I often go to non-denominational, interdenominational, or Baptist. I don't mind. As long as on Christmas Eve I can be a Christian. So I don't know if you heard that part of the video, Janice, but yeah, I sometimes feel the odd one out here in Italy, because it's like, if you're not Catholic, what are you? Well, I'm a Christian. Just because I'm not Catholic doesn't mean that I'm not a believer. I am. And we have the Holy Trinity and Christ and, the Holy Ghost and Father God. And there's not a huge difference. But in terms of Catholic in Italy, even those who aren't practicing, they're still Catholic. They get vaccinated as Catholic at birth, and 99% of Italy is Catholic. France, as I mentioned earlier, has a separation between state and church. So, there are quite a few Presbyterian, different denominations. And whilst France can also be quite Catholic, it's not the only option. And it seems like in Italy, it's the only option. Either you're Jehovah's Witness and you're walking in the street giving out pamphlets, or you're Muslim. I think that's what they think I am. I'm a Christian. I'm English. My ancestors on my father's side are French. My ancestors on my mother's side are 100% English. I don't have any other ethnicity to me. But anyway, so yeah, I really, really miss going to midnight mass in a Church of England church, singing the hymns that I grew up with, singing the stuff. It's part of the lovely romance of Christmas. And just like my candle here and my little twinkly lights, and I haven't shown you the holly and the ivy and the berries, and my lovely tartan wrap. So yes. My house is full at Christmas of holly and ivy, and I always decorate everything. And yeah, I try to make it jolly. But as I mentioned, this year I'm going to be away at Christmas in Lyon. So I'm going to be away at Christmas in Lyon, celebrating Christmas. And then on my birthday, I go up to Fontainebleau, Paris, and then Fontainebleau to meet Janice, and we'll celebrate my birthday together and say hi, and then go to Christmas Mass. I'm excited, yes. So I'll be in France for Christmas this year for the first time, I think. I've been to Paris a lot. I've spoken at conferences in Paris. Paris I know pretty well. I'm just going to have a fleeting glimpse of Paris. The train blew the lovely restaurant inside Gare de Lyon. I'm arriving from Lyon, the gastronomic capital of France. I love it. I love the whole of Burgundy. I love the towns of Burgundy, Dijon and Lyon, and I just love it. I'm a Lyonnaise in my blood, I think. I love the food. I know it's going to be beautifully decorated at Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to my first Noel. I'm really looking forward to France, and you'll be there. I don't know if I'll be able to do a long live, but I'll certainly have my phone and I will record, and I'm going to do an interview with Janice in France about moving to France, about her journey of moving to France, just like my journey of moving to Italy some years ago. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to share all of that with you. And I know some of your questions that get asked about moving to France, so I'm going to put those to Janice. We're going to have a lovely chat. So looking forward to that. Super excited about it. And this year is going to be a little bit different for me. Everything else has been normal, making Christmas baubles and preparing all of that and being romantic at Christmas. Nothing changes for me. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but I have this gorgeous amaryllis. If you saw one of my posts that I put up this week, isn't it stunning? I love how absolutely beautiful this white amaryllis is with its, I don't know how good this camera is, so I'm going to try and find the sweet spot. And with my candelabra in the background, isn't she so beautiful, this amaryllis? That's my Christmassy feeling. Isn't it gorgeous? I literally just planted her, and she's got, I think, 6 different blooms, and there's 2 more coming. So she'll be blooming all the way to New Year. So that's going to be my Christmas decoration. As I mentioned, I always have a tree, but the tree's on the balcony this year because I'm going to be away, so I wanted the neighbors to enjoy it. And in the house, I always had the tree on that corner, the fireplace here, and the tree in that corner. But anyway, so there's a tree. And perhaps on the next little video I'm going to do this week, I'll show you all my wreaths outside along the balcony. And if you haven't watched the Christmas markets I do and the way I make Christmas wreaths, well, I could link those videos for you. You could just go and have a look. Also, I put up some shorts this week. I went to Milan, joined with another vlogger, absolutely wonderful, Tammy. She lives in Corso Magenta, Milano, and we went to the beautiful Vittorio Emanuele, which I've visited for over 20 years, with the enormous tree. There was the big Christian Dior tree outside the Dior shop, so we had time to just enjoy the lights of Milan. And I've also put up a couple of videos of my town, whose lights are sometimes better than Milan. It's amazing. And the shopping and all the excitement. Italy is beautiful at Christmas in terms of shopping and the beautiful light. So if you want to go and look at that, I put up some shorts. And in fact, tomorrow I'll put up the longer video of us going shopping together and enjoying Marchesi, my favorite tradition, where we go to Marchesi, a bakery that's existed in Italy for 200 years. We had a beautiful tea time with the lovely panettone and the fabulous iced cakes and all the traditions. Italy's crazy at Christmas, the confections, the beautiful ribbons, the panettone all wrapped up. It's just exquisite. The shops in Milan are exquisite. So if you'd like to see that, I'm going to put this video up. I think I'll have it edited by tomorrow or the day after, and that'll be worth it. And me and Tammy go along Corso Magenta, one of the beautiful streets of Milan, and see all the Christmas lights and all the lovely, lovely things that we enjoy. It's so wonderful. I'm so looking forward to this year and French tradition and Noel, because I've had many Christmases in Milan. Oh, how lovely. Anyway, if you're going to watch this back, I'd love you to tell me what traditions you can't live without at Christmas. Do you go to Mass? Maybe you don't. Not everyone, is a worshiper. Not everybody practices going Christmas Eve or whatever, but I do, and I like that. And the candle burning bright. What will be my wish tonight? So here we are. Here's a candle for us to look forward to Christmas and all that brings. And wherever you are, whatever plans you're making for Christmas or whatever you hope to happen, I hope all your wishes come true. And if you are far from your family or far from the person or the people that you'd really like to be close to, I hope that next Christmas will bring you what you want. And just know that I have a great empathy for people who've had Christmases away from their family. As I mentioned, my adult children, one lives in South Africa, one lives in Canada, and I've had many Christmases with them as they were growing up, but they have come to Italy for Christmas. I've gone there for Christmas, but I've had a few Christmases recently where I can't always travel. And of course, I have lots of lovely Italian friends. I've been invited to them for Christmas. I'm usually invited for Christmas, but somehow I love Christmas in my own home. I think that's how we are. And this year I'm going to be with Janice for Christmas, and I'm so looking forward to that. So leave me a comment, Janice, when we're done with this video, because I really want to know what traditions you respect and honor. And also, I'm sure other people would love you to comment so that they can ask you maybe follow-up questions in the comments. So, yes, I'm looking forward to that. And it's going to be nice to have a non-Italian Christmas. Obviously, I had 25 years of Christmases before I came here, English Christmases, and I've had Christmas in Portugal. I've had Christmas, haven't had Christmas in France yet. That's upcoming. I've had Christmases in Switzerland. So I've had other Christmases, not in Italy, but I think I'm really looking forward to Lyon and all the traditions and my first Noel in France and enjoying my birthday on Christmas Eve with friends and just having a lovely time and meeting new people. I always love to meet new people. I think it's one of the best things about traveling. And so thank you for your comments, and thank you that you're going to leave me your questions that you might have about how you your traditions, how you spend Christmas. And I just want to say to anybody who's newly single or through no planning or no fault of their own is going to be alone this Christmas and not looking forward to Christmas and probably doesn't want to hear me chatting along about how amazing I think my Christmas is going to be. I just say to you that there are going to be other Christmases, and trust that it will be lovely, and trust that it will be great, and that everything's going to turn out for the good, and that maybe you'll meet someone new. And if I can give a tiny bit of advice, I'm not a person who hands out advice generally, because I think everybody has their own special something. But if you're feeling alone or you're feeling lonely over Christmas, and there are lots of people who feel alone at Christmas, young people, old people, people who for whatever reason find themselves alone, or at least on the day of Christmas find themselves alone, and maybe think back to happier years when everything was greater and nicer and much better. I will simply say to you, just remember that you're special, and that the best way to get over feeling bad about yourself or feeling bad about your situation, if you have something bad to worry about, is to go and help other people. I've spent many Christmases working to serve dinner to all people, or at a soup kitchen for the homeless. Lots of people don't have the privilege of having a roast turkey at home with all their family and all the gifts. The greatest gift that you can give at Christmas is to help somebody else who's feeling lonely, or is feeling left out, or just doesn't feel loved, doesn't feel happy about Christmas, because, or maybe this Christmas is going to be a difficult for you financially. Certainly for me, this year's been a challenge, and that's okay. There's nothing to be embarrassed about if you're not going to be able to financially have a huge, amazing Christmas. Christmas is about love and giving. So if you're alone and you're not wondering what you're going to do this Christmas, why don't you go and volunteer? And if you don't know how to volunteer, why don't you just choose a neighbor that you know is alone, or somebody that you know, an aunt, maybe your parents are going to be alone, and you would like to do something special for them. Why don't you just go and cook them something, or bring them some biscuits, or make some Christmas cookies? And if you don't feel able to serve them a whole meal, that maybe you could take them a little gift, I don't know, a bottle of wine, or a little something you made, something special, so that they don't feel alone for Christmas, and that'll cheer you up. Because I find that if I'm feeling down, helping somebody else is the easiest way to feel better about yourself. So I'm looking forward to your questions this 8th of December, which in Italy is Immacolata, where I told the story on my first video of my arrival in Italy and living in Lucca and in Tuscany, where they put this huge bunch of 2,000 roses. They send the firemen up on a ladder into the arms of Mary, who's on a statue in most Italian towns. And I watched him place this beautiful bouquet. They send the firemen on this huge ladder up. And I saw one, it's on my Instagram if you want to go and have a look. I posted it, of a fireman placing a beautiful wreath of white roses on the Maria, I think it was in Rome, and saluting Maria. It's usually Ave Maria is sung in Italy at this time of year. So yes, there are lots of Italian traditions I love and adore. And this year, my theme is all about cherubs. I mentioned this last week. These are, unfortunately, this light that I need washes everything out, but these are cherubs. So I've had many Christmases where I've used these cherubs. Let me see if the camera will pick that up. They're very, very pretty. So I think there's 16 in here of the cherub baubles. But this year I've made different ones. So, yeah. Whatever you need to do to cheer yourself up this Christmas, you can come and watch me. I'll be vlogging every day. So far I put up a video every day of my town at Christmas, and also the preparations, the lights going on, and I'm going to do that throughout France. I'll show you some of the food I'll eat in Lyon and some of the French lovely pastry shops at Christmas. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm going to be vlogging, doing Vlogmas as I do every December. And yeah, I need you to subscribe. I need you to like the video, and I need you to leave me a comment about your Christmas traditions. And thank you for joining. And don't forget to like the video and leave me your comment about your traditions. And if you do feel alone when you watch this video back, write me a comment to let me know what you're going to do to maybe do something different this year if you don't have plans to be with people. So as I mentioned, I'm looking forward to my first French Christmas and spending my birthday, Christmas Eve, with Janice in France. We're going to go to church together and then spend Christmas with a bunch of new people in Janice's home. She's also away from her home, but her daughter's joining, so it's going to be a big celebration. And I so look forward to meeting new people. And yeah, why don't you write me and let me know what you're going to do this Christmas and what your traditions are. So I'm going to leave you, and thank you. I'm going to leave you with this little message. Do you remember when you were in nursery school? I'm sure you do. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. This little light of mine, let it shine. So however you find, whichever way you find to let your light shine, even if it's in a very small way, you can just do a good turn for a neighbor who's lonely, or an old person you know near you who's lonely, or even a young person who's discouraged. You don't need to spend a lot of money buying huge Christmas gifts on Amazon. Jeff Bezos is rich enough on Amazon. Just make something special. And the little light of mine, it's, believe it or not, even dropping it didn't put it out. It's a dedicated light. It's still shining. Look at that, it's still shining. Isn't that amazing? So this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. And thank you for joining my pre-Christmas special. And don't forget, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And this time of the year, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody and make their year special. So I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, come on, let's have a Christmas to remember, and look forward to the next one. I'll link up the playlist of other videos that I put up. And don't forget, this week I'm going to put up the video of shopping in Milan, in that beautiful street with Tammy from Texas, and the lovely shops we went to, and visiting Marchesi. So see you on the next one. Join us soon. And I'll be vlogging live, don't forget, from France. and I still have a week to go, and probably I'll put up a video of the last Christmas market in Italy where I'm displaying my Christmas goods. So take care. It's not Christmas yet. It's the run up to Christmas, but we're talking about it. Okay? Bye. See you soon. Don't forget to leave a comment. Come on, you know you want to. And leave me a like. Bye. Bye.